Well, we are going to be rereading Ruth and the Green Book, a journey that an African-American child took back in the 50s, and all of the difficulties and obstacles that they faced at each stop, until one gentleman at a gas station told them about the Green Book. So then Ruth started looking through the Green Book to say, oh, we're going to stop here next, Daddy, and so on and so forth. So that's going to be kind of our journey. We're going to revisit that. We're going to have students estimate where those stops may have been. Then each group of students are going to be given a stop in the book, and then they will answer a bunch of essential questions that involve point of view. One will be of Ruth, one will be of the parents, and the other will be the African American that they are researching, because simultaneously they are doing a research project on a famous African American and what their contribution was to the civil rights movement. As we drove out of Chicago, it felt funny to see the neighborhood disappear, and then the streets, and then the buildings. So we have Chicago, so they're headed in which direction would be Alabama? South. So heading in this direction. I believe that they're going to discuss their points of view, because part of the lesson, after they discuss the points of view that have been given to them, they're also going to compare and contrast what that location that they have estimated that stop to be from then to now. And they're also going to, from their point of view, say how they feel things have changed. If this story were to take place today, how would they be treated today at that stop versus how were they treated in the book?
The Jim Crow laws are like, what's it called? Where black and whites can't be together. Segregation? Yes. So mine is fearful of Jim Crow laws and segregation. Mine is fearful of Ruth getting hurt, because who would want their kid to get hurt?
So, what would Thurgood Marshall do?
He'd probably be like, wow, this is unfair.
But what would he be afraid of?
That they got hurt. Like, hopefully they don't get hurt or something.
I feel that their connections are much richer now. Their conversations are richer, especially with the onset of the speaking standards that are now in place, where students are expected to collaborate with each other. We want them to have those rich conversations. We want them to share those experiences. And since this restructuring, that causes that interaction of all of the standards, which is really how life is. We don't have family life is now, work life is now. It's all woven together. So why wouldn't all of the standards be woven together to make it a much better, richer, meaningful experience for each child? Why do you think they followed the law, even though they thought, yeah, I'm going to follow the law, even though it's not right?
Maybe because they didn't want to go to prison or something if they break the law.
Oh, they didn't want to go to prison for breaking the law? Okay, so you want to add that to that? What happened to Martin Luther King Jr.?
He got shot.
Why do you think he got shot?
For giving a speech about letting people be treated equally.
So do you think that that has anything to do with this up here? He wanted people to be treated equally.
So then the white people got mad at him, so they shot him.
Okay, so he ended up being, what's that word, that assassinated. So do you think maybe just other people standing around, if they stood up for Ruth and her family, that they might be afraid of being shot at themselves? That might be another point of view you want to think about.
But my research African American, he would, if he was at the gas station where they wouldn't let them go to the bathroom because they said whites only, he would probably get kind of mad about it.
What would your assigned point of view be fearful of?
He would be fearful of like being beaten and hit.
I think that when you can link everything together and make those connections, they are very engaged. It just happens naturally. Probably more what I'm guessing happened in some cases was that one wanted to take over doing something, the control factor. So when you've got some students engaged, sometimes that does occur, which I think that's a great problem to have.
This is all about civil rights.
If you were black, you would still be thinking like, wow, this isn't even fair.
Wait a minute, how about this situation is
Just do that's rude.
So they probably came down here into, so they probably came down here. So it's probably around here, so I'm going to zoom in and see what things are here. So it could have been near this
Murphy.
So it could have been near, it's probably near here. So like, set it down, Rockmart,
On Helen, Cleveland.
Of course, not every child is going to bring away exactly the same amount of information, but the fact that each child was a part of it, that they can feel like, I really had a part in that, is the biggest takeaway that I can get from it, is what they take away.